cross commissions.
The closer we work together, the more we can accomplish.
Yeah. Well, hopefully will move us a notch toward telling that Chamber of Commerce / Home and Wall Gang bunch are doing.
Net rep.
No, well, not net rep. I mean, the Gates
Yeah.
Fund and those guys are secretly meeting.
Oh, the Millionaire Boys Club.
So we're just anyway.
Thank you, Sheriff. First order of business this evening is our pledge will be conducted by Commissioner Carriger, and the prayer will be conducted by Commissioner Ford.
I think Commissioner Ford's going to do the faith, I'm going to do the prayer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Let us bow our heads, if you would, please. God in prayer. Heavenly Father, I ask that you guide us, to encourage us, to help one another, build each of us up, but try to do your will. We ask that you give us the strength to conduct business tonight. We ask that you strengthen us to seek you first in all things that we do. Amen. Let's honor America.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get started, before we even have roll call, Chris, would you kind of bring us a refresher course on our voting pads? And
Okay, the voting system is fairly straightforward. We'll initially do a roll call, and you'll be able to to press the green button for present, or obviously nobody's here to be absent, but that's what the no button is for. When we actually do the voting, you will vote yes or no. You'll see on the screen next to your name that it will indicate that you have voted. Once you do so, you need to press the confirm button on the right-hand side of the remote to actually lock in your vote. Fairly straightforward process. If at any point in time when we're not voting, you want to request to speak, there is a button for that, and the chairman will receive a notification. If you want to cancel that, it's on the yellow cancel request to speak button. That button can also be used to abstain while voting, if for any reason you'd like to abstain from the vote. Any questions? All right.
Thank you, Chris. All right, Madam Clerk, are we ready to do the roll call? All right. You'll just indicate that you are present. Madam Clerk? We have 15 present, 0 absent. We do have a quorum. Next item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. We have a motion to approve the agenda. Motion made by Commissioner Eden, seconded by Commissioner Carter to approve the agenda. All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion passes. The agenda is approved. We have no public comment this evening. We have no rezonings to consider. However, you will find the minutes of the September 4th Regional Planning Commission minutes in your packet, and the Zoning Appeals Board in your packet. That's on page 5 and page 7. Moving on to resolutions for special recognition and proclamations. We have a proclamation for the National Friends of the Library Week. Mayor, were you going to present that proclamation?
Richard, looks like you're the only library person we see in the audience. Jeannie, would you like to come up? Maybe both of you can come up too. Richard is the director of the libraries, Gray and Jonesboro County Libraries. Gene has served as chairman of the board for a number of years, and he's the chief genealogist of the world in Washington County, at least. So, welcome and thanks for being here. The Friends of the Library is an auxiliary organization that works on behalf of the libraries in Washington County, and this talks about a lot of the things that they do. But in addition to that, they raise funds. You might have seen a streamer across the street in Jonesboro last week where they were selling books and selling other things to raise funds for libraries. They do a lot of things in support of our libraries and are a very valuable resource. So, are you ready? Whereas Friends of Washington County Library raise money that enables our library to move from good to great, providing the resources for additional programming, much needed equipment, support for children's summer reading, and special events throughout the year. And whereas the work of the Friends highlights on an ongoing basis the fact that our library is the cornerstone of the community, providing opportunities for all to engage in the joy of lifelong learning and connect with the thoughts and ideas of others from ages past to the present. And whereas the Friends understand the critical importance of well-funded libraries and advocate to ensure that our library gets the resources it needs to provide a wide variety of services to all ages, including access to print and electronic materials, along with expert assistance in research, reader's advisory, and children's services. And whereas the Friends gift of their time and commitment to the library sets an example for all in how volunteerism leads to positive civic engagement and the betterment of our community. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Washington County, Tennessee, and I, County Mayor William J. Grandy, October 21st through the 28th, 2018, is hereby proclaimed to be National Friends of Libraries Week in Washington County, Tennessee, and do urge everyone to join the Friends of the Library and thank them for all they do to make our library and community so much better. Thank you, gentlemen.
Second, I have a seconded by Commissioner Light to approve the proclamation. All those in favor of approving the proclamation signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. The proclamation passes.
I'll accept this on behalf of the Friends of the Library who cannot be here tonight because we're putting together our book sale starting tomorrow. Please, I invite any of you to come visit us at the library. We're not your grandmother's library.
Thank you, Richard. Next item on the agenda this evening is the Board of County Commissioners minutes. We have a motion to approve or receive the minutes of August 27th and of September the 10th. We'll take one of those at a time. Commissioner Tester, is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Which one did we have a correction on, anyway? August. All right. Commissioner Ford, we had a motion. Your motion was to approve for August 27th. Okay. Commissioner Light, you're the second for August 27th. Discussion. We did have a very slight change in a word from mortality to mortality on those. That was misspelled. That was on the opioid. Epidemic, isn't that right, Mr. Tester? Any further changes or discussion? Seeing none. All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Next set of minutes is to receive and consider the minutes from the September the 10th special call meeting of the Board of County Commissioners. Mr. Tester. Okay. Got a second? All right, have a motion and a second. As most of you all received an email this week from the county attorney. On September the 11th, the county court clerk, Kathy Story, did notify the county attorney that a mistake had been made on the vote count in the first round of electing the committee members for the Committee on Committees on the September 10th special call commission meeting. The mistake was that Commissioner Tester and Commissioner England both had actually tied in the first round vote. Both commissioners had 6 votes, but Commissioner Tester's votes were incorrectly counted, and it was announced that he had the lowest number of votes and therefore dropped off the ballot. The county attorney did discuss these issues with Mayor Grandy and myself, and we were in agreement that since Commissioner Tester was the one affected by the mistake, that the county attorney would contact Commissioner Tester to get his input prior to the Committee on Committee meetings, which was scheduled to meet Thursday, September the 13th. The county attorney contacted Commissioner Tester and discussed the error that had occurred and reviewed the vote count on the first ballot with him. Commissioner Tester advised the county attorney that he accepted the ultimate outcome as to who was elected to the Committee on Committees. The Committee on Committees then moved forward at their Thursday meeting and nominated commissioners to serve on the standing committees. Mayor Grandy, myself, Commissioner Tester, and I wanted all commissioners to be aware what had occurred, since the full commission would consider the committee on committee selection, and ultimately the county commission would have the final vote to approve committee on committee appointments at this meeting here tonight. So that was the email that went out to all the commissioners. And did you receive any follow-up from these emails, Mr. Seeley?
No, sir.
Email said is, I told the attorney Seeley on the phone, I accepted the fact that I was eliminated from the program. I was okay with it. But I wanted everybody to know about it so the school board would have not say or anybody officially or won't do anything else.
Thank you, Commissioner. Absolutely. I was going to bring that up before we voted on our committee on committee selection, but this is a good time to bring it up while we're approving the minutes as well. So we have a motion and second on the floor to approve or accept the minutes from the September 10th meeting. Commissioner Harris?
Voting to approve these minutes, we're not voting to say that we have a suggestion of the way the minutes is printed up. Vote on the minutes.
No. No, this is just really just saying this is what happened at our last September 10th meeting. Yeah. Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion passes. Next item is the election appointments and confirmations. The first item on that list is the consider resolution 180901. It's a resolution confirming the mayor's appointments to the budget committee. I have a motion. Motion made by Commissioner Ford, seconded by Commissioner Williams to approve the resolution. Question's been called. Madam Clerk, if you'll switch us to the voting screen. Go ahead and cast your vote and lock it in. Madam Clerk, if you'll announce the vote, 14 yes, 1 no, 0 absent. Resolution passes. Next item is Resolution 180902. It is a resolution confirming the mayor's appointments to the County Purchasing Committee. Have a motion? Motion made by Commissioner Wheeler. Have a second? Seconded by Commissioner England to approve the resolution. Discussion. Question's been called. Madam Clerk, if you'll switch us to the voting screen. Go ahead and cast your vote and lock it in. Madam Clerk, if you'll announce the vote, 15 yes, 0 no, 0 absent. Resolution passes. Next item is Resolution 180903. Is a resolution confirming 3 members to the Washington County Public Records Commission. Motion made by Commissioner Davenport, seconded by Commissioner McAllister to approve the resolution. Question's been called. Madam Clerk, if you'll switch us to the voting screen, please. Go ahead and cast your vote and lock it in. Madam Clerk, if you'll announce the vote, 15 yes, 0 no, 0 absent, resolution passes. Next item is the Committee on Committee Reports. Commissioner Carriger.
Committee on Committee met this past September 13th, and we put forward our recommendations in the form of Resolution 180904. And I think it's all written. I don't know if I need to verbally repeat all that or not, Mr. Chairman, but that's our recommendations are for the CIA Committee: Larry England, myself, Jody Jones, Robbie Tester, Ken Harris. The recommendation for employee compensation and benefits: Mike Ford, Steve Light, Gary McAllister, Susie Williams, Brian Davenport. Health, Education, and Welfare Commissioners: Danny Edens, Greg Matherly, Susie Williams, Jody Jones, and Steve Light. Public Safety Committee: Ken Harris, Jerome Fitzgerald, Freddie Malone, Mike Ford, Jim Wheeler. Public Works: Jerome Fitzgerald, Brian Davenport, Greg Matherly, Danny Edens, and Larry England. And then the Rules Committee would be myself, Robbie Tester, Jim Wheeler, Gary McAllister, and Freddie Malone. And that comes from the Committee on Committee with the recommendation for approval.
Is your motion?
Yes, sir.
Seconded by Commissioner Davenport to approve the resolution. Discussion? Commissioner Harris?
Mr. Chairman, I think the group, I don't think it's problem, but it's the process. I felt all, the first I heard about this, when I read it in minutes, it was actually after the committee on committees had already met. I think it goes back to communication and all the commissioners, even though once the problem was found, I didn't get an email from my attorney until late. I seen it, I sent an email in, of course, contacted you, you called me back. Going forward, I just did my process at all, other than start. Because obviously, using the way that we use the county votes. Change it, have to change it, do it again, I think you got to approve it, like that. Those like that, communication. So this is, that's why it's course, but also that's all. Committee, it's a committee. Good problem, that future. As of the agreement.
I think we try to communicate as best as we can sometimes. And I think I fail, and I'll be the first one to admit it's hard to communicate with 25 commissioners. It's hard to communicate with 15, and I appreciate your thoughts on that. One of the things that we've done since then is I know Chris has been definitely trying to research some ways that we can vote on the screen, maybe to make it a little bit more, maybe a better process to understand. And there is some confusion to it. And maybe going back at the Rules Committee, taking a look and clarifying those rules a little bit, I think would be very helpful as well. I think we have some very good committees that they've done a good job at, and I appreciate your comments. We're not very far off. Is there any other comments? All right, we do have a motion and second on the floor to approve the resolution.
Call for the question.
Question's been called. Madam Clerk, if you'll switch us to the voting screen. Madam Clerk, if you'll announce the vote, 13 yes, 1 no, 1 abstained. Resolution passes.
Want me to continue, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Commissioner Carter.
Also, the Committee on Committees, we recommend approval of Commissioners Mike Ford and Steve White be reappointed to serve as members of the Agricultural Extension Committee for terms beginning as set forth in Section 2. And that comes with the form of a motion from the committee.
Motion made by Commissioner Carragher, seconded by Commissioner McAllister to approve the resolution. Discussion? Yes, Commissioner Williams.
The dates are very varying in these appointments. Can you explain the reason today up to the end of some of these appointments?
I think it varies on the term of each appointment, how the term reacts, and it's just depending on which committee it is. You may be filling out a term of a member that had maybe left the commission, but you're still filling out that term. Is that not correct, Sherry? And if you have any more questions on those terms, Sherry is the expert. I'm telling you, she is. Yeah, she is an expert at those questions. Any further questions or discussion? Questions have been called. Madam Clerk, if you'll switch us to the voting screen. Go ahead and cast your vote and lock it in. If you'll announce the vote, 15 yes, 0 no. Resolution passes. Okay, Commissioner Carragher.
Mr. Chairman, next resolution is 180906, and the Committee on Committees met on September 13th and voted to recommend Commissioner Freddie Malone be appointed to serve as a member of the Audit and Ethics Committee, and that comes with a recommendation and motion for approval.
Motion made by Commissioner Carragher, seconded by Commissioner Ford to approve the resolution. Discussion? Questions been called? Madam Clerk, if you'll switch to the voting screen, please. Go ahead and cast your vote and lock it in. Madam Clerk, if you'll announce the vote. Oh, I'm sorry. Still got one voting. $14 yes, 0 no, 1 abstain. The resolution passes.
Mr. Chairman, I want to say that wasn't ghost voting. I was following Mr. Williams' instructions on that. Next item is the Resolution 180907. It's the members to the Beer Board. At our Committee on Committees meeting on September 13th, we recommend 5 members to serve on the Beer Board. That's Commissioner Freddie Malone, Commissioner Phil Carragher, Commissioner Jim Wheeler, Commissioner Brian Davenport, Commissioner Larry England, and that comes with a recommendation and motion from the Committee on Committees.
Motion made by Commissioner Carragher, seconded by Commissioner Lott to approve the resolution. Discussion? Questions have been called. Madam Clerk, if you'll switch us to the voting screen. Go ahead and cast your vote and lock it in. Madam Clerk, if you'll announce the vote, 15 yes, 0 no. Resolution passes. Commissioner Carragher.
Next is Resolution 180908, confirming 3 appointments to the Investment Committee. The Committee on Committees met on September the 13th, and we recommend the following as members of the Investment Committee: Commissioner Phil Carragher, Commissioner Freddie Malone, Commissioner Gary McAllister, and that comes with a recommendation and motion for approval from the committee.
Motion made by Commissioner Carragher, seconded by Commissioner McAllister. Discussion? Madam Clerk, the question's been called. Go ahead and switch us to the voting screen. Go ahead and cast your vote and lock it in. Fifteen yes, 0 no. Resolution passes. Commissioner Carriger?
The Committee on Committees met on September 13th, and we recommend appointing the following members to the Resale of Land Committee: Commissioner Mike Ford, Commissioner Steve White, Commissioner Larry England, Commissioner Jody Jones, and that comes with a recommendation and motion from approval from the Committee on Committees.
Motion made by Commissioner Carriger, seconded by Commissioner Malone to approve the resolution. Discussion? Questions have been called. Madam Clerk, if you'll switch us to the voting screen. Go ahead and cast your vote and lock it in. Madam Clerk, if you'll announce the vote. 15 yes, 0 no. Resolution passes. Commissioner Carriger?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think this is our final recommendation. This is on the Intergovernmental Affairs Committee, and our Committee on Committees met on September 13th and recommended Commissioner Freddie Malone to serve on the Intergovernmental Affairs Committee for a term beginning as set forth in Section 2. This comes with a recommendation for approval and a motion to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Carriger to approve the resolution, seconded by Commissioner England. Discussion? Questions have been called. Madam Clerk, if you'll switch us to the voting screen. Go ahead and cast your vote and lock it in. Madam Clerk, if you'll announce the vote. 14 yes, 1 abstained. Resolution passes. Anything else, Commissioner Carriger?
No, sir. I just want to offer my thanks to all the committee members for their diligence. Everybody came prepared with recommendations, and I appreciate your business manner in which we got things done. So I thank all the members of that committee.
Thank you. Next item is the County Attorney's Report. Mr. Seeley?
I have a written report. We'd like to announce on October 1st, Allison Wilkinson will be starting staff at Frankfort County. I hope next week we get the opportunity to come by and say hello to her. We're really excited about adding her on and looking forward to getting some help. Hopefully we can see Wilkinson.
Thank you. Any questions for the attorney? Absolutely.
Commissioner Ford contacted me regarding whether or not there was a conflict of interest in serving on the board compensation benefits. That is not a conflict of interest. That's as long as he abstains from voting with regard to any benefits, it increases benefits for him or increases his compensation. He has to abstain from voting. He can't serve the next meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Seeley. All right, the County Mayor's Report. Mayor Grandy? Commissioner Harris?
Mayor, who serves on the Bright Ridge Trail Board in County?
Myself and Dan Brandt.
I think it'd be nice if somebody come in and send something to us on this internet proposal. We've had a lot of questions from the county. Wondering if they're on the list. You know, people in the rural area of the county
Harris, that's a great comment, and I promise you that we can have somebody from Bright Ridge come and do just that. There's been a number of public hearings, meetings on it, where a lot of that was explained to those who got the word and came. But for those who missed that opportunity, we're happy to present that here. And we'll just work out with Chairman Matherly as to when that can be accomplished. We'll make it soon. Business has been approved. It's starting, and deployment will begin really within the next probably 60 days. So good time to get that information out. Happy to do it.
I know, Robert and I really excited about it because there's the possibility of having all the work. They're wanting to know, like, again, the time frame.
Let's just try to get that on our next agenda. Next time we're here, be a good time to do it, if you work that out, Mayor.
Tomorrow, and I'll just bring that up right that meeting tomorrow. That's good. Happy to do it. Other issues? While I'm here, just for those who plan to attend tomorrow, the visitation of the school, or viewing of the school, or tour of the school, at 4 o'clock. I had a question earlier. The entrance is off Allen Church Road, gravel entranceway. There's only one off that road. You'll head that way, go around the big pile of topsoil that's stored there, and we'll be heading for the Burwell construction trailer. But once you get around the amount of topsoil, there'll be people there to direct you where to park, and they can fit it up the hard house where you can take it to. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. The Courtroom Security Committee did meet August 31st. The meeting minutes are in your packet on page 31. Is there any questions about those minutes? Seeing none. The Director of the Health Department is with us this evening, Dr. Kristen Minnick. Kristen, come on up.
Good evening. For those of you who haven't met me yet, I'm Kristen Minnick. I'm the Health Department Director. We're located at 219 Princeton Road. If you're ever interested in visiting with us, just let me know. I'll be glad to give you a tour of our building, talk to you about what services we offer. Did want to update you all on a couple of things. First is that we were going to start our yearly school-located vaccine flu clinics in all of our county and city schools. Washington County is scheduled for November 1st and 2nd. Johnson City schools are scheduled for October the 24th. So we're getting our flu vaccine in for our children's program. Most of that has come in. We have vaccinated our staff. And once we get all of our shots in for what we need for the school-located vaccine, we'll begin immunizing the community. So any patients that come in to see us can get a vaccine. We are planning a county-wide, what we call a pod or a point of dispensing flu clinic. It won't be until December, and we hope that we will be able to offer those vaccines free of charge at that time to anybody who hasn't received one at that point. But with what we understand, this is supposed to be another bad flu season, so I just want to encourage everybody to get their vaccines as soon as possible. One final update that I have is in regards to our renovation project to our first floor of the health department. We have a pre-bid walkthrough next Tuesday at 3:30 at the lower level of the health department, and then have that bid meeting on October the 10th to accept those who are interested in working with us throughout this winter on our project. I don't have any other updates at this time, but we'll be glad to answer any questions you all may have.
Krista, I know this time of year is a big time for the dental clinic. I know
Yes.
several of the schools and
We've already
lots
started
of kids coming in to the
busing
dental
in
clinic.
students from both the city and the county. Dr. Parker is our dentist. He's been there for over 30 years. He worked on me as a kid when I was bused in from the Washington County schools, so he likes to aggravate me now that I'm his boss. But he is actually going to be retiring at the end of September and will go to part-time work for us and remain on our staff in a part-time capacity. So we've already worked on figuring out our schedule. We're going to be able to maintain what we're doing for the students and looking for a full-time dentist to take his spot. So if anybody knows of anybody, send them our way.
That may be a tough spot to fill.
Yeah. Anything else? We do kindergarten on up until 12th grade. We do not vaccinate those preschool students. It's hard enough to get a kindergartner to cooperate with us. So the smaller they are, the more tender they tend to be when it's shot time. But we don't vaccinate those preschool students, but we offer the opportunity to kindergarten up to 12th grade.
All right.
Anything else? Thank you all.
Thank you, Kristen.